The media has whipped us all into a frenzy that, in my professional opinion, we are not going to step away from without a lot of pain, misery, and bloodshed. All right, everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. Let's see, we are in for some interesting times. If you have not watched my past videos in regards to the upcoming Civil War slash craziness that's coming up here relatively soon, please watch those videos. I believe there's 10 of them, 8 or 10 of them, and it's like 2.5, 3 hours worth of content. Each video is roughly 15 to 20 minutes long. And the video today is called Something Wicked This Way Comes. We are now heading for a convergence of a perfect storm. And it's being fueled by money and hatred provided by Black Lives Matter. Okay, prior to basically the shooting or the knee on the neck guy, I don't remember his name, that took place several months ago. They were, a voice that was out there, but after that took place, they have just exploded. All right, now I've looked at their website, I've looked at the interviews of some of their founders and individuals who are relatively high in that organization, and there's really nothing going on there that is any good. In regards to, this police brutality thing, it's just not, the reality on the ground when you look at the numbers. Yes, there is police brutality. It affects everyone, but it is not as rampant as the media has led us all to believe. In fact, the media has whipped us all into a frenzy that, in my professional opinion, we are not going to step away from without a lot of pain, misery, and bloodshed. But that's just my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. So let's just jump into it.
The world does not cater to intelligent people. It revolves around the lowest common denominator. And that's why most humans are easily manipulated sheeple who will put up with anything as long as they get their lard-fried burgers from a hole in the wall, free porn, and 2-day shipping. Curse of the High IQ dives into what it's like having your mind held hostage by boring idiots in the rat race of humanity. The cheese is in the description.
I looked up BLM when they were formed roughly in 2012. And this is their EIN number, which is 47-4143254. And yes, they are a 501c3, and their mission is to educate. All right, now that is open to interpretation, but they're basically using our own tax laws against us, and they are threatening to cause all kinds of problems, if not destroy this country from within. As it stands now, they have 13 chapters across the United States with 3 in Canada. Now, I'm not going to list the ones in Canada. I really don't think they have a lot of relevance other than being able to transfer money across into another country, and it would be basically out of the reach of the United States. The following cities have chapters: Boston, Chicago, Washington, D.C., Denver, Detroit, L.A., Lansing, Long Beach, Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, New York City, Philly, and South Bend. Rumor has it that there are 30 more in the works that are going to be stood up in America. They are in the midst of organizing and recruiting. I'm going to put those links in the description. They actually have a page for starting new chapters. And they are funding said new chapters with significant amounts of cash. The main purpose, from what I've been able to see for BLM, is to provide the useful idiots, which mainly are the screen for the true agitators, slash insurrectionists that are working behind the scenes. Okay, I mean, they whip a lot of people up. They show up to protest, and there's video footage of them putting up umbrellas, throwing bricks at cops. There's hours of footage of them attacking the courthouse in Portland and so forth. Now, in regards to all of that, I have no idea why they aren't actually going after the organizations that are truly, responsible for the shitty plight that they're in. And that would be family court and the family court judges. I mean, because a lot of these individuals who have bad run-ins with the police came from a broken home, had no father at home, and he was more than likely driven off by, you guessed it, family court and the family court judges. All right, so what they are seeing is the so-called systemic racism is actually the father advantage, which they don't get. Okay, now between 2012 and 2020, BLM has raised an estimated $370 to $470 million. And they have not paid for one college education, rebuilt one black business that was destroyed, or reimbursed any medical bills that were done at these protests. Where is that money going? $470 million is a lot of money, and it could be used to do a lot of nefarious things. And that's what I think is coming. 80% of the money, of all of this money, was raised roughly in 2020, when all of these corporations opened up their deep pockets and dumped hundreds of millions of dollars into their coffers. Okay, now here are some of the funding sources that I have been able to find with my research. Okay, let's see. They do fundraisers. They have direct donations from said corporations. They have rich sponsors, Soros for one, and other ones that I haven't been able to detect their names. Act Blue, which is big in both Antifa and BLM. Let's see, Alliance for Global Justice, BLM Global Network, and a lot of these new chapters are opening up their own 501c, and thus their money that they're raising is technically not under this EIN, but under their own, and it's easier to hide. Now, I really don't know what is going on with all that money. I don't have a lot of people providing me information in regards to this. If anyone out there has the sources, send them to me because I would like to know. All right, now a lot of you guys are like, hey, look, BLM, they're against police brutality and so forth. All right, I got it. But defunding the police is not the answer, because when and if that does happen, people are not going to like what steps up to fill the vacuum. All right, now we're going to provide a link to a Google Drive, and it basically contains a lot of actual lesson plans and information that BLM is going to have taught in colleges, high schools, middle schools, and even grade schools across the United States. All right. Listen, they are, self-identified Marxists. Marxism has already failed. It is an absolute tyrant in China. And somehow they think we're going to do it any better over here because we're different. Well, we're not. Okay? We are not, and that should not be allowed to take root here in America, which it already has. And in my opinion, it needs to be rooted out. They are for the destruction of the family. They want to remove the father from the family because that's worked out so well for the black community, which now has a single mother birth rate somewhere in the 70%, somewhere north of 70%. Okay, it's terrible. When this is a majority happen across the United States will be nothing but a ball of chaos, blood, and death. They also want reparations for some kind of past slight that they did not experience and I did not perpetrate. All right, and then if this actually goes down, when does it stop? It doesn't. Okay, it basically bankrupts the whole country, and when the people of this country are made penniless because of all this and lost their life savings, you have not seen the backlash that will happen. And I don't think history's actually seen it because it will be monumentally bad. And I don't want to see that happen. They want free healthcare, schooling, real estate, free gender reassignment stuff, whatever that is, abortion, and they want a free universal income. All right, I'm going to just tell you this right now. And this was sung to me in basic training, and I sung this cadence across 33 years. Ain't nothing in this world is free. And that's why I joined the infantry. Because if you want something in this world, you gotta fight for it. It's not handed to you. Period. End of story. It's basic economics. They want to shut down jails and prisons. All right, now, with all of the shit on this list, I am partially in agreement with this. The prison industrial complex is not a good thing. The overcharging and the abuses of the constitutional rights of people across this country needs to come to an end. Because let's face it, if the cops kick down your door and go through your house, there's probably 15 things in there they could charge you with that'll put you in prison between 10 and 25 years. And you have to take a plea deal because you can't fight all 10 charges. So indirectly, they're denying you your constitutional rights. That's wrong. The judges, the lawmakers, the police, all of from the bottom up, they all need to be held accountable for violating constitutional rights. And I'm not talking about making the taxpayer pay for it. I'm talking throw those fuckers in jail, rob them blind and take their cash. Okay, because when that starts to happen, holy shit is going to change. They're also for the LGBTQ LOLWTF agenda. For the trans people out there, they make up 1/5 of 1% of the gross population of the United States of America. And for this 1/5 of 1%, we are breaking the backs of everybody else. That is fucked up sorry, and that needs to stop. Now, I'm sorry they suffer from a mental illness. Truly I am. And I wish they would get the help they deserve. But forcing laws down all of our throats based on said mental illness and forcing us to placate your mental illness is just wrong. They want to completely open the borders, which will basically erase the United States from the world stage forever. Forever. All right, they want to destroy religion. They've already attacked churches, synagogues, and so forth. You know, they've attacked religious monuments and gravestones across the country. Now, the rumor is the people at the top of BLM practice some kind of voodoo religion. And they name a lot of their chapters after these voodoo demon semi-gods that, you know, take place in that whole craziness. So, how do you think that's going to work out? I don't think it's going to work out too good for them when they actually make a serious push for that. There's a lot of people out there who are very religious and are not going to take people telling them they can or cannot worship however they want to. All right, now last but not least, it's in the rhetoric, you know, it's in the rhetoric, their handouts, you know, a lot of the protest signs, and even some of their official dogma. They just straight up hate white people. Now, I did 33 years in the Army. I served with countless soldiers. A large portion of them were black, Hispanic, Oriental. To me, I don't give a shit. All I really cared about was they showed up on time, had the proper equipment, met the standard, and did the fucking job. Period. All right, and now just because I am melanin challenged, I'm responsible for all of the bad and hatred in the world. Bull fucking shit. So in November, when we have this election, they're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to call on, you know, their other organizations that they march lockstep with, like Antifa and the John Brown Gun Club and this other militia, the black militia that takes, you know, down in the South. I personally don't care. I think everyone has the right to keep and bear arms, regardless of your color. But, you know, lines are going to be drawn. That means somebody's going to be on one side of the line and somebody's going to be on the other. And that'll be bad for everyone. And I hope it doesn't happen. But I think the Democrats have lost all credibility. They have gone full socialist/communist. And they want nothing more than to destroy this country.